Yeah.
Around 600
Yeah.
Egyptian soldiers and police were killed. British and French deaths totaled just 26.
We are
In
back
July
again
1956,
with
Egyptian
another
President Gamal
epic history
Abdel Nasser
heavy
announced the
reaction.
nationalization of the Suez Canal Company.
Oh yeah.
Egyptians would take charge of this vital strategic waterway.
Oh yeah. This was
connecting
when
Europe to
Britain
Asia
and
with immediate
Britain, France, and Israel. We're not going to say the actual name because I don't want YouTube smiting my content down. Okay, so get used to that. Well, yeah, with that guy looking drippy.
France relied on the canal
This guy right here.
their vital
In my last
supplies of Middle
reaction,
East
I know
oil,
that how he
which
looked
fueled
drippy
their
as heck.
economies. In their eyes, Nasser was a threat. A dictator intent on
Wait a
uniting
minute.
the Arab world against them.
This is the
destroying their
1950s,
influence in the Middle East
right?
and North Africa.
I thought they had colored photos at this point. Why is this in black and white? I thought they had color photos.
And
At this
using
point,
control of the canal as a weapon
this
against
feels surreal. This is like World War One, World War II vibe, but it doesn't feel like World War One, World War II vibe.
secretly. Britain and France agreed to force regime change on Egypt. A joint military intervention to depose Nasser and reassert their standing as global powers.
Oh man. Oh man. Is this a sponsor? Oh, this, okay, it's not. I thought this was gonna be a sponsor. I was gonna say I'm poor, but it's not. It was one of the craziest moments in here. So this is 11 years after World War II ended.
Was not
So
Britain
not too
or
crazy.
France that
Not
struck
too long.
first against Nasser.
3 years
It
after
was
Stalin
Israel.
died.
On the 29th of October, Israeli paratroopers landed in the Egyptian Sinai, seizing the strategic Mitla Pass and
Oh
paving
gosh,
the way
YouTube.
for an invasion by ground forces.
As much as I don't like that country, it's still impressive. It's kind of impressive how I don't want to say too much, but like it's just impressive how they're able to survive this long with a bunch of hostile neighbors. It's also the Arab countries' fault because the Arab countries and the Arab world, there's so much infighting that and corruption, dude, come on. Gotta do better than that. Like, if only the Arab world would just hurry up and unite, you know what I mean? I'm pretty sure, like, that country, Israel, would not exist.
At the UN, Israel insisted it was acting in self-defense against raids by Palestinian fighters known as Fedayeen, operating from bases in Gaza and Sinai.
I've heard of these guys. In the Iraq War, these were Saddam Hussein's most feared fighters, but they were very underwhelming in the end.
But
I didn't know that was a
no
thing.
Fedayeen bases in Sinai. Britain and
It's
France,
BS.
claiming
Come on.
to be acting on
This is
behalf of the
Israel.
international community, issued an ultimatum to both sides. Stop fighting within 12 hours and withdraw all forces 10 miles from the Suez Canal, or they would intervene to enforce compliance.
Wait, was that the actual Egyptian flag?
Egypt was effectively being told to abandon the Sinai and the canal. Israel accepted the terms. Nasser refused.
Of course Israel would accept the terms.
So, on the 31st
Of course.
of October, British and French aircraft, taking off from carriers in the Mediterranean and bases in Cyprus and Malta, began bombing Egyptian airfields, air defenses and infrastructure.
This is so weird. This is like kind of World War II era. Oh, dude. It's like World War II mixed with jets.
But not all was as it seemed. Israeli Prime Minister David Ben-Gurion had been considering an attack on Egypt for many months.
That guy looks like a homeless guy. Bro, I swear that was a random homeless
The
refugee.
hawkish commander of Israel's armed forces. Nasser, like all leaders of Arab states, did not view the new Jewish state as legitimate. Now receiving modern weapons from Czechoslovakia, he was seen as a potential threat to Israel's survival.
Interesting how he got that from Czechoslovakia. How did that go down?
The Straits of Tiran, which prevented Israeli access to the Red Sea and limited opportunities for trade.
But don't they have all of this? They have all of this. Look, they have all of this stretch right here. So how is this limiting? Oh, wait a minute. Oh, because they can't. Okay, yeah. Okay, never mind. I think I understand that. I mean, if you still want to like explain it to me, you still can. Maybe I would see something that I don't know, but I think I understand that. I was dumb.
With the Israelis to get rid of Nasser. But British Prime Minister Sir Anthony Eden was anxious about being seen as the aggressor. So the French came up with an idea.
Right, France.
At Sèvres, near Paris, representatives of Britain, France and Israel met in secret to plan a war. Israel would invade Egypt, allowing Britain and France, posing as peacemakers, to issue an ultimatum they knew only Israel would accept. Then, claiming to be acting to safeguard the canal, they would invade Egypt and overthrow Nasser, though they had no real plan for what to do once he was gone.
Oh, classic imperialism. Classic imperialism. Doesn't that sound familiar? Kind of sounds like Iraq, right? Kind of sounds like Afghanistan, right? When America came, they had no idea what to do after they were in it. They just had to overthrow Pacific government. Oh, what do we do now? Oh, I don't know. Uh-oh. We got insurgents. We got insurgencies. We're fighting a long, drawn-out war. Oh man, it's crazy how the cycle never ends.
It would take years for the full details of this conspiracy to emerge.
Bloody hell.
On the 5th of November, after a week of bombing, and with Israeli troops winning the battle in Sinai, British and French paratroopers were dropped onto targets around Port Said and Port Fouad at the mouth of the Suez Canal.
Crazy to me how these troops just go and follow blatant orders like this.
They seized Egyptian airfields and key infrastructure.
Like, this is a blatant violation of Egyptian sovereignty, and it blows my mind how, like, soldiers can just go and willfully follow, like, these orders, like, knowing that, hey, we're kind of doing something illegal. Like, don't you have no moral compass? It just blows my mind. Like, think about that for a second. I just, wow.
The next morning, under cover of airstrikes and naval bombardment, British and French landings began. Fierce street fighting raged throughout the day, but the Egyptians were massively outgunned, and it proved a one-sided contest.
Yeah.
Around 600 Egyptian soldiers and police were killed. British and French deaths totaled just 26.
Damn, dude. Only 26? Bloody heck.
Egyptian civilians suffered most. Up to 1,000 lost their lives, with many more left homeless by air raid.
How? Already 1,000? How? Oh my.
By the end of the day, the British and French were in control.
The British and French collaborating, that is mad.
But they couldn't prevent the
What a rare
Egyptians
sight.
sabotaging the Suez Canal itself. They sank ships in its narrow channel, blocking the canal and putting it out of action for several months.
Hey, got to do what you have to do. Can't blame them. It's smart. Uh-oh, Soviets are getting involved.
It's hard to see that the British, French and Israelis were working together. And at the United Nations, world opinion quickly turned against them. For once,
Whoa.
the US and Soviet Union were united in condemnation.
Oh my gosh.
Typically
What?
animated Soviet Premier Nikita
What?
Khrushchev even threatened to fire rockets at Paris and London.
That is some
President
bold
Eisenhower
statements.
thought the invasion had no moral or legal justification, and he was furious with his British ally for going behind his back.
So-called ally. So-called ally. America and Britain are not allies. Okay, America just has a stranglehold on Britain. As a matter of fact, America has a stranglehold on NATO. A stranglehold which many of these countries, especially France, is trying to rid of. Okay? So this whole, oh, look guys, we're allies, we're no. It's like female friendships. You look on the outside and you think that, oh look, they're so friendly, they're getting along, but when you dig deeper you realize that no, they don't get along. Okay, so I really hate when I see that misconception that the US and Britain are allies. They're not allies. Okay, Britain is just weak and America is keeping a stranglehold to keep it that way. You can quote what I said. Okay, like you can quote what I said.
The British and French governments delivered a 12-hour ultimatum to Israel and Egypt, now followed up by armed attack against Egypt. The United States was not consulted in any way about any phase of these actions, nor were we informed of them in advance. As it is the manifest right of any of these nations to take such decisions and actions, it is likewise our right, if our judgment so dictates, for we do not accept the use of force as a wise or proper instrument for the settlement of international disputes.
Eisenhower wanted international attention focused on Hungary, where Soviet troops were at that moment brutally crushing a popular uprising.
Well, the Hungarian Revolution happened at the same time? Oh, I didn't know that.
Instead, Britain and France's reckless intervention was likely to push Arab states closer to the Soviet Union.
Oh, so you're telling me that Britain and France potentially made things worse for the Hungarians when they did the I gotta react to that. The Hungarian Revolution. I gotta react to that, bruh.
In the UN Security Council, Britain and France used their veto to block resolutions that criticized Israel's attack on Egypt, or their own intervention.
Of course.
With
Oh man, the duality of the UN, where hardly anything goes anywhere. Don't get me wrong, the UN, you know, sometimes like stuff can be done, stuff can go somewhere, but oh my god, the UN is just useless. Freaking hell, is League of Nations 2.0. Even then, the League of Nations kind of sort of had achievements. I do know that, but in the grand scheme of things, it's useless.
both world superpowers condemning their attack, they now faced a vote in the General Assembly and the threat of UN sanctions. Britain's economy had been fragile before the crisis began, Now, market fears caused the British currency to crash, threatening economic disaster.
Yeah,
Only a
Britain.
massive loan from the International Monetary Fund could save Britain. But
Oh, Britain, that's what you get for sacrificing your whole entire empire to stop Germany during World War II.
Eisenhower blocked any IMF aid until Britain agreed to a UN-backed ceasefire in Egypt.
Bro, let me tell you something, bro. The IMF bank is basically like a US bank. The IMF is just like a US bank, in my personal opinion. I know it's like World Bank, but the influence that America has, dude, it's crazy to me how it's just wild to me how much influence America has across the world, man. Like, it's just like we need a multipolar world again. Freaking hell. Russia, China, India, somebody step up already. I know Russia is trying to like step up, but Russia has like long ways to go. I don't think in our lifetime we're gonna see a Russia that's like as great as like the Soviet Union. I don't think we'll see that in our lifetime. Nah. Probably like in my grandkids' lifetime.
Eden, facing growing opposition abroad, at home, and from within his own government, had few options. Just 2 days after British troops landed in Egypt, they announced a ceasefire.
2 days?
The French,
2
abandoned
days?
by their ally, had no choice but to follow suit.
Only 2 days? Bruh.
In days, the UN's first major peacekeeping operation got underway, as Danish UN troops arrived in Egypt to take over from the British and French.
Bro, why is the UN peacekeeping troops, they're either hit or miss. Sometimes they're useless. Like in the Balkan Wars, they were more or less kind of sort of useless, kind of sort of. But then there's times where like I've like heard stories of them actually like fighting like really hard and actually like, you know, doing what they're supposed to do. So I'm like, I don't know, man. What do you think about the US peacekeeping force? Because I have such a mixed opinion on them. It's like, and so much tax-paying dollars goes to them from like every single country in the world. So let's continue.
As they packed up and re-embarked on their landing ships to return home, it was officially job well done. But in truth, Suez had been a humiliating fiasco. The political leadership had been reckless, the military objectives confused, and as soon as international pressure had mounted up, the British had had no option but to abort the entire mission.
Humbled.
That winter, under intense American pressure, Israeli forces also withdrew from Sinai.
Imagine if it stayed in Sinai. Wait, I said the bad word. Oh no. I said the bad word. No. YouTube, don't shadow ban me. I might cut that out. Guys, if you see a part that got cut out, it's because I said the bad word. I'm probably gonna have to cut that out when I edit this video. Okay. So don't be confused.
Forced Britain and France to accept that they were now second-rank powers. No longer could they act as they wished on the world stage, without first considering the view of the United States. The lesson taken by the British was never again to jeopardize their so-called special relationship with America.
AKA the stranglehold that America has
For France,
over the UK. Literally, man. That's literally all that it is. Because Britain is broke, America is rich, so now Britain has to kiss up to America. But I'm telling you, if Britain wasn't so broke, do you really think Britain would give a crap, would give a blast about its special relationship? Hell no. And you can quote what I said. You can quote what I say. I said this before and I'll say it again. America is like the main reason why Britain was forced to decolonize. Yes, Britain was broke and they didn't have money to manage all of its colonies. That is true, and that's one of the main reasons why. But the way how Britain decolonized, Britain was like very, very pressured by the UN, mostly backed by America, to decolonize. Okay, like, and even then, like Britain, despite the fact that Britain was broke and it was forced to decolonize, Britain didn't really want to like just up and leave everything. Like, no, that's why the Commonwealth still exists, and that's why like Commonwealth realms are still a thing, with the realms being, in fact, Commonwealth realms was never called Commonwealth realms. They were called dominions. Okay, that was the official term. But the term got changed because it just sounded wrong for the time. Like, Britain is supposed to be decolonized. Oh, we can't call them dominions, so let's give it a much more family friendly term, I guess you can call it that. So it went from dominions to Commonwealth realm. Freaking hell, man. Like, that's what we were. That's what Barbados were. Like, until they freaking abolished the monarchy in the most undemocratic way, like, what, 3 years ago, all right?
The lesson was that Britain and America were unreliable allies, and their interests were better served by closer ties within Europe. Israel achieved some objectives, including the opening of the Straits of Tiran to Israeli shipping. But with Nasser still in power, future conflict with Egypt and its other Arab neighbors was almost certain. The Sinai War proved to be a precursor to the far more decisive Six-Day War, fought a decade later.
Yeah, yes. The infamous war.
British Prime Minister Sir Anthony Eden's career and health were ruined. He resigned, but not before lying to Parliament about his knowledge of the secret deal with Israel.
Bro, imagine. Oh, that's funny. This man lied, bro.
President Nasser, fated as the hero of the Arab world for having stood up to European imperialists, had in reality been saved by US and UN intervention.
Bro got
But
smoked.
his modernizing reforms, championing of the Arab cause, and opposition to foreign intervention mean his memory is still revered by Arabs across the Middle East.
But yet, they still can't go and unite as one. Just like what I was saying earlier. I always see like Arab people say all of this stuff, but yet every single time they try to unite as one, it never happens. And the Arab world will never, ever unite. Okay, I gotta say that in my more American accent. Because it's true. They will never ever unite. Like, I'm sorry, like the Arab world, I'm not saying this to like insult like Arab people. I'm not saying that to insult Arab people, but they just have so much issues that I just can't see that like ever happening, right? Egypt and Syria attempted a union, and Egypt basically treated Syria as a like how America is treating like Puerto Rico, right? Second class citizens, just some distant colony, right? It's just no. And like even then, these Arab dictators, bro. Look at how they treat their own citizens, bro. Look at Saddam Hussein. Okay? Look at what that man did, bro. Look at Bashar al-Assad. Okay, like these people are not like. I'm sorry, but like it's just the only like capable Arab leader that I really and truly think would actually unite the Arab world, and he's dead, is Muammar Gaddafi. Even that guy was a bit questionable, but I still saw his vision. I actually respected his vision. But you know, imperialism, American imperialism, had him killed. So
The impact of the Suez Crisis on America was perhaps the most far-reaching. The collapse of British and French prestige amongst Arab nations meant the US would now take the lead in countering Soviet expansion in the Middle East and securing the West's oil supplies. The Suez Crisis would accelerate US involvement in this volatile region. The consequences would stretch well into the 21st century.
yep, the Iraq War.
An added sense of urgency to their mission.
The infamous Iraq War. I would love to see an Epic History TV Iraq War. I would really love to see that. Epic History TV has not posted in a while. I wonder what he's cooking. But this is all I have to say. Thank you for watching the video. Make sure you check out my other videos. If you've made it all the way till the end, that means that you like my reaction. So make sure to drop a thumbs up. YouTube has finally unshadowbanned my channel. Okay, my channel is finally unshadowbanned. So thank God. So keep liking the videos, right, boys? And if you're new, make sure to subscribe, bro. If you like what I have to say, you know, I like talking about this stuff. You know, I'm, very, very passionate about this stuff. This is why I made this YouTube channel, because I want people to hear what I have to say. If you like hearing what I have to say, subscribe for more, right? If you have any suggestions, tell me. You know, I react to all my suggestions in due time. I have quite a bit, but I react to all of them in due time. So if you have anything, just tell me, right? You know. Tell me if you think that that I would like it. Tell me 100%. Remember, stay tuned for more.